Hello, Vudani here, and today I have a Guardian PvP video. I'm using a very defensible build. This is a shout build, and the focus is on basically shouts as well as your virtues, and just the synergies between those. And the synergy that those create is basically in the form of boons, and that is where the damage of this build comes from. Conditions and boons as well as some melee. You'll pretty much have 100% uptime on retaliation if you watch the video. I don't think there's a second where I do not have retaliation on myself, and that comes from various sources, one of them being simply activating my virtues. Others are from buffs, and also Win Aegis, which is an effect that is applied periodically through Virtue of Resolve that it blocks an attack, and when that attack is blocked or when Aegis falls off, I get a very nice 15-second long retaliation. And also for damage sources, you have lots of burning effects, and you want to try to keep burning effects on people as much as you can, and the main way you'll be doing that, as you can see right there, is Zealot's Flame, which is the number 4 ability of the torch. And then the last source of damage comes from auto attacks and just damaging abilities. The scepter and the short sword are very, very powerful in pretty much any Guardian build. I'm not using the traits that will really directly affect their damage, but I am using a power build. I guess the stat I'm using offensively is power. I'm using a soldier's amulet. So you'll have tons of defense, you almost no crit, but that's not the focus. Power is directly affects retaliation damage. So that is the main reason for that, and obviously soldier's amulet is just such a good amulet if you don't need crit. And that first brawl there, you could really see the survivability, and right now you can see that I am not a very favorable target. I don't take much damage, and that is what this build will do. You generally want to try to have protection on you, and you almost always will, and that comes through Save Yourself, which is a shout, and that's going to apply I think every boon in the game to all allies as well as yourself, and those boons last about 15 seconds. And I mean, that skill is just incredible. Not only that, but it also breaks a stun. And downside is that it will pull conditions off your allies, but with the there's a trait that you pick up that will cause your Virtue of Resolve, I believe it is, the F2 virtue, to cure 3 conditions. So if you do pick up too many conditions, you have that. You have multiple condition removals, but I guess the conditions are really the biggest weakness of this. You have lots of toughness and good amount of vitality, but conditions will tear you apart. You do have removals to counter that, though. And I mean, you can see if you watch my health throughout this video here, I really don't take much burst damage. The times that people do focus me, they probably do as much damage to themselves as they do to me, and it's so good. The reason I came up with this build, or I may not have come up with it, there probably have been other Guardians with retaliation builds, but when I was putting this build together, I was thinking of what hurts most of my builds the most, and honestly, retaliation was a huge thing. So many classes have their quickness burst. I'm gonna pop quickness and kill you, and usually they're very successful with that. So I figured, how about put that back on them? And a lot of people are doing that, and that is very effective. That's a huge reason why the Guardian has become maybe the most popular class. I mean, it's definitely between Guardian, Warrior, and Thief, but it's a very good class, obviously. And in this match, I am basically just trying to hold the beach, and we are doing that very successfully. The enemy team really didn't try to back cap, and we took full advantage of that, and You see I do get a little bit low there, so I pop my ultimate, and right now I'm trying to take cover while I'm using my number 1 ability, which is a spammable AoE heal, and once I do get cover I pop my full heal and then go right out. And there's Zealot's defense, which is a frontal attack that will shoot out projectiles and block projectiles, a very good attack with the sword. And there is Flashing Blade, which is a teleport, and that is useful for closing gaps. The best way, if you have a sword out, the best way to engage someone is, if you can't get close to them, go hit Flashing Blade and then go right into your Zealot's Flame or your 4 ability, right into a Cleansing Flame. And what that's going to do is, that's, first of all, you're going to get right in their face with the teleport, but you're also going to apply burns and then apply lots of damage. And honestly, there is a bit of an intimidation factor using Cleansing Flame. It is a very vibrant ability. It doesn't actually cause burning, but it does do a significant amount of damage, and unfortunately I died there. Every build can die, unfortunately. I'm still working on that perfect build, but it was a very, very good display of the survivability. You really aren't gonna take too much burst damage, but if you do get focused, it's gonna happen. You do have shouts to counter that. Right now in my 8 slot, I have a Stand Your Ground. I just use it there, and that's going to break stun, give you stability for 8 seconds. 8 seconds stability is incredibly useful versus most builds. And right here we got this 2v1. You see I went with that Zealot's Flame into Cleansing Flame combo. Got some good damage. There goes Zealot's defense, and now I'm just swinging my sword. I got lots of boons going. I switch into my scepter, throw down a smite, and I'm just whipping away trying to get that Necro down, and I do take him down. He didn't get me with the fear, and that warrior, as you can see, almost dead, but the other warrior, a little overkill, definitely didn't need the help. That was pretty much a legit 2v1. Might not have been the best of players, but I mean, you can see that warrior practically killed himself on me. With the amount of toughness this build gives, the amount of healing you can put out, the Signet of Resolve by itself is a good 8k heal. It's almost half your health. And you're going to be getting so many boons. You're almost always going to have regeneration, protection, and always you'll have retaliation. And yeah, the build almost plays itself. Once you can master the switching of weapons and managing of cooldowns and just timing your shouts correctly, you will enjoy this build a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's a good change to the bursty playstyle that most builds have, and I really did enjoy this build. And as always, I hope this video was helpful. If you have suggestions for next week's Guardian video, feel free to leave comments, and I'd really like to see what you guys want to see. And thanks for watching.